complaining.
Cool. It's recording. All right, perfect.
Cool.
All right, guys. How's everyone feeling? Good?
Good.
All of you?
I'm turn this off.
That's the smallest little seminar I've ever had.
Yeah.
So there's like
Three on three.
Easy.
so firstly, guys, scan. I'll just give you like even a spare scan to look at, but we're going to start. Yeah, scan. So pretty much, guys, with the scans, or you guys are looking at these. So you'll see where it says like muscle fat analysis. Yep. So the reason why we're having, again, the scan is something that is just a great insight into your body. However, it's not good when you guys really fix evidence. It just gives you a good insight that, like, you know, at the end of the 4 weeks, do another one and see some changes in your body. But when you're looking at here, we're looking at weight, muscle mass, and body fat. Those three through there. You see those three in a row. So pretty much when you do your first scan, it means nothing. It's just data. It's just a piece of paper with some numbers, but we just want to see some changes on there. So ideally what we want to see is that muscle mass either stay the same depending on where you're at, or grow, like so that becomes a lot longer, and your fat mass to go down or to stay. It depends on what your goals are. So it really varies. If someone's wanting to put on more muscle and size, then the fat can kind of stay the same, muscle can grow up. So it really depends on what your goals are, which will work out what they are, and that's what that's for. Does that make sense? So this also gives us insight of like your resting metabolic rate as well. Over here on the side, you'll see visceral fat and you'll see parameters. I'll just show you over here. So I'll show you your resting metabolic rate here. Does that make sense? So this just gives us insight as well to help you guys like with calories and stuff. But however, with the reboot, we don't really want to talk too much about calories. But after that, if you feel like we want to add things up a lot more, these are what makes scans really great, because based on everything that we've got from this information, your fat mass, your muscle mass, and your height and weight, they can give you a really good indication of what your resting metabolic rate is. And it gives us a good insight to how many calories we should roughly sit at. But we don't need to go into too much detail about that. Most what you guys on that's why a scan is pretty helpful. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, because as even we were saying on the other day, it's like if we don't do these, because you might build muscle, say, over the 4 weeks and you lose body fat, and then you get on the end of 4 weeks and you're like, oh, the same weight. Like that means nothing. Literally, all the scales is how much force you're putting through the floor. It's not telling you how hydrated you are, everything, all the little different things. So that's why obviously these are such a really good tool to go off. Yeah, pretty much. So I guess what is the Reboot? Really good way. One of our favorite programs that we do, as Mia said before, usually we get a few more people in. Sort of hard to market, I guess, in this time. We weren't sure how many people we were allowed in, or like, thank God we're slowly allowed to start this off now. But pretty much it's a whole reboot about learning and trying to create really good habits so we can then push forward. And as what Mia said, and then once we finish the 4 weeks, then if you want to dive a little bit more into everything, whether it's the training, splitting different things up, whether it's your macros, whether it's like how much we should be eating, and then we can really dial in all the different things. But pretty much this is just a starting block that goes from everything, and then we can pyramid in and make this as detailed as possible for whatever we want. But our 4 big things we want to focus on throughout the Reboot are 4 things that we can control: our food, water, sleep, and exercise. Once we get those all down pat, then we can really start to, as I said, dial them in and make those a lot more specific to what you want and to what you want to get out of it.
So what we want to focus on this morning, so we're just going a little bit of time, just give you guys some like information and to learn some stuff. So a lot of people think that they know, or they don't. Some people either know nothing or they think they know too much. And there's so much information out there. We want to really try and simplify it for you guys and get you guys to really understand it, based around these kind of 4 habits. Okay, so we're just going to explain a little bit about each one and what they mean and what we want you guys to really focus on, and how you can make these like really small changes in your life to make a huge impact long term. Okay. First one, water. Big water fan.
Yes, I love water. How much water do you reckon we drink a day?
How much do you guys drink at the moment a day? What do you reckon you do?
Honestly, probably about half a litre. I'm really bad with water.
Yep.
Mine's probably 1.5 litres to 2 litres.
Yeah, I reckon at the moment I'm probably only drinking a litre. I'm
Okay.
not drinking enough because it's cold. And
How much do you drink?
3.
2 and a bit.
Good. No, so we're doing a thing at the moment, so we're really trying to stay on top of Mia's water as well. So look, we're pretty much made up predominantly of water. And if you look at all your cells and everything that you do, they need water to function. Everything that comes from your energy to compared to your performance in the gym and actually moving around. If you're dehydrated, everything else is going to be shit. The blood's not going to move around your body properly. Your circulation, everything comes from water. So as soon as you're dehydrated, you might be at work. That could be one of the factors why you're not even concentrating at work, or you feel shit, you feel lethargic. a lot of the time it's just because we're dehydrated. So everything that once we put that into our bodies and we can start to go through, look, the only downside is you need to go to the toilet like every half an hour. That's literally the only downside of it. But once you do that, I guarantee you can see your performance, your mood, your sleep, everything. Even when you're dehydrated, you won't want to sleep properly because your body's restless. You're going to be tossing and turning. And then that's why you see a lot of those people always need to get up in the night just because their body's not exactly hydrated and they can't sleep how they want.
It really does make a difference. Like it's one thing I have been very good with. And even things like my skin, like everyone's like commenting on my skin, like at the moment, and like I don't wear anything, and like but from water, like it's like filling out my face so much more. So I feel like it's making a big difference. Like you feel like, and especially with food, like you feel fuller, like you're like, yeah, like it makes such a big difference, like everything.
And a lot of people think that it makes you look bloated, or like you may feel bloated, but it doesn't. If anything, it fills your muscles better and it flushes you out of all the bad toxins. Like, especially if you are going out on weekends and like if you're having a few drinks and like drinking, I know you might have some bad food or whatever, like we all do, but it actually flushes you out. It does. It gets everything in and out. It gets your body moving rather than just keeping in there. It helps with your digestion. So it's honestly one of the best things. And I just don't understand if you can have one thing that's so simple that can help you feel so much better, why don't we do it more often? But the biggest thing for that, and what we're going to go over, just some tips to make it a lot easier. What are some? Oh, you want to do that there?
Yeah. So that makes sense. So do you understand? Like, yep. We'll go through like how to make that happen. Yeah. Sleep.
Yeah, 100%. So
He was.
yeah, no, these guys are doing such a good job. I was just like having a really good listen. I was like, that's one of you. So obviously, like, so sleep hygiene is super important. Again, we'll help you with heaps of tips, but something I found that is so important when it comes to it, and this is what this is all revolving around, making it habitual. So the routine when it comes to sleep is so crucial. And again, it's just one of those things, like up there with our water and our sleep, they're two of the things that if they were in like supplement form, you know, people would be paying millions for them, but they're free and they're
100%.
accessible to us, and we take them so for granted. And one more Netflix episodes gets the best of us. But when it comes to our performance, and again, like Das was saying, like our mood and how we carry ourselves and how we perform in the gym, the sleep component is just so undervalued and so important, and people are looking for this supplement and that supplement to help with your recovery. It's there. If you can get 8 hours a night, which almost none of us do, it's so hard to get, especially with technology and screens, but it will make such a big difference right up there with the water.
You're seeing a lot of these other studies and stuff that are coming out, and pretty much the number one thing that they've said for like athletes and performance and stuff, whether it's that extra session or other things they want their athletes to do, it's sleep. It's literally coming out. We're like, we want you to just, rather than doing an extra thing, it's like, I want you to go home tonight and just sleep more. Like, that's what's going to help us get to that next stage. And a lot of us don't. Like, I don't know how Maya does it. She usually runs off like 4 hours sleep or less every night, but she's just one of those
Kids.
but you've always been like that.
Yeah, I've always done it. But at the end of the day, though, the thing is that you like, even things if like people's goals are fat loss, like it's very hard for the body to rejuvenate and wind down to like even like the body like properly efficiently burn fat. So it's like, and same with water. And this is the thing, is like a lot of people's goals are that, like, you know, not that we don't want that to be physical appearance, but that is a lot of people's goals that get them in to the gym where they want to look, they want bigger muscles, they want less fat, and they want to like feel better. All those three things are going to happen from these two things, like alone. But without them, if you are dehydrated and you don't sleep enough, it's very hard for the body to build muscle, very hard for the body to burn fat.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, and you're going to feel like shit. So everything's going to like, it makes a huge difference. Okay, so just really want to nut that into you guys that like, this is the whole point of this reboot, is you are going to set, this is what we'll teach you about these 4 things, a habit around each of these 4 things, and that's what we're following you up on. So it's not about like trying to change everything, it's just one thing in these 4 aspects, and we're there to keep you accountable for these 4 things. Does that make sense? Yeah. With our movement, so obviously with this here, obviously we're coming into the gym and there's movement in the gym, but we're also talking about NEAT. Have you guys heard of NEAT before?
Yeah, it's like just walking up the stairs.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So it's just pretty much incidental movement. It's incidental movement. So it's obviously, it's one of those weird things. You can look at, okay, I'm going to go for a planned walk. Technically, a planned walk is training. However, we still count that as NEAT. Like, so just moving and walking, but it might be obviously as well. I think a lot of people's NEAT, because people are not working at other places, they're working from home. the overall movement is decreased significantly already, and people's were already significantly low. So if you're not walking to the station every day, or not doing that, you're already losing that. So it's that incidental movement wherever you possibly can, like walk to the supermarket, park further away, don't like line up with the other 70 cars to get to the front car park, drive in and park at the end car park, go to Southland, park at the end and have to walk all the way there, things like that, getting your steps up. I would like the one thing, if you guys can like invest in like a watch if everyone got one. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Look, what do you reckon you guys are getting at the moment? What steps a day?
There's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah,
That doesn't matter.
I'm on my feet all day at work, so on work day I'll probably do 15,000.
Yeah, perfect.
On my home days maybe about 8.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad though. Kev?
Yeah, I think I'd most probably have to do a couple of thousand. I think.
Okay, so that's
If
it.
that,
Yeah, so that's a big one we're going to work on. Rob?
Mine's a bit up and down because of, being locked down. I'm not doing all my stuff, but normally I average 10 more, but at the moment I'm struggling because I'm just not.
Of course, getting out of the house.
I'm just not. And
Yeah,
it's
totally.
I'm not playing basketball. I'm not
Yeah.
going to the gym, I'm not.
And that's why we're getting like, at the moment on
You know.
this lockdown, all our members were like 1,200. We're like, let's go. We're like, alarms, doing things, moving. Like,
What
you've
is-
got to get going.
What does yours tell you of a normal session compared to your steps for the day, your calories burn?
As in my calories for the steps versus my calories for my day.
Say you do your workout from last
so,
night. Because a
yeah.
lot of people think that like obviously training so
Training,
important,
actually.
which we will go through like everything, the importance of it. But everyone sees like this neat and like your steps is like, oh, it's nothing. It's nothing. Look how many calories Mia will burn from a day of walking compared to a session. So everyone, like I said, sessions are fantastic. They're so good for you. You're building strength and everything. But a lot of people, if they are at a desk job or whatever, they're like, I've come in, I've done my 45-minute, I've done my hour workout, I'm done for the day.
So I did 22,000 steps yesterday.
And how many calories?
So I
did you burn?
burn in my workout, I burned 500 calories. The rest of my day, I burned 1,400. So I burned an extra 1,100 from walking versus 500 from the gym. And exactly what Darcy's saying is that like we obviously the training in here we're working on like always like bone density, muscle gain, fat loss. There's obviously things that are targeted in the gym that we can work on because you can't build muscle from walking. It's pretty hard to do that, right? But and it's very hard to get resistance training from walking. So therefore, for our bone and our strength and everything else that we need training for, we actually need training inside the gym because you need to be stressing bones, muscles, joints, and so on.
Get the stimulus.
Which
So
is
our bodies
important,
can
not just
change.
for how we look, but literally for the actual health of our body. Same with cardiovascular, like obviously we get walking, doesn't really get the heart out that much. When we do like high intensity training, when we do like endurance training and fitness training, that's what builds our fitness, eventually our heart gets better, our lung capacity gets better, all these things for like overall optimal health is improved from physical training in the gym. But in terms of also calories burned, you will significantly burn more throughout your entire day than you will in the gym. And even if somebody's like, you come to the gym 3 times a week and that's all you did, sometimes people think, oh, I go to the gym 3 times a day, like 3 times, that's 3 hours of an entire week. But you could walk for hours every day. That would make such a big difference. Does that make sense? So don't underestimate the power of the steps. Like they're so important. And they make you feel good. You can like just be busy all day, stuck at your desk and be like, cool, I'm getting up for 10 minutes, go for a quick walk around my house, sit back down, get ready to go again. And you're like, you just brain function, ready to go. So it's again, we'll talk about exactly how we can make these happen and it's become so normal. But do you guys like understand?
I just think that's such a big one. And I remember when I first found that out, it was just sort of like, you think that the training's the be all to end all, and then you're like, oh, look how much you can burn just throughout the day. Plus, your body craves it. You know, like if I have a day of Sunday on the couch, I feel like an old man. Like I try and get up.
Worse than what you would.
My
have if
back
you've
is so like just from sitting and just your body wants to move. So the more you can get it moving, your blood's going to circulate more. You're more inclined to drink more water because every good habits create good habits, and that's exactly what we're going to go through from here. And I guarantee, from like a feeling standpoint, from even at the start, even if you guys think at the moment you guys might feel great, but I guarantee at the end of the month or once we finish this, you got like you'll have a new lease of, oh my god, like these steps make me feel so much better. I'm drinking so much more. I'm sleeping so much better. My food's a lot more organized. And then that's the small, and these are just habits. Like we're not giving you actual big steps or milestones to try and hit. It's just trying to get out and just do a little bit every single day. I'll let Mia sort of touch on the food.
So
things.
yeah, so everyone obviously probably you won't have it, but you guys, did you look through the manuals that I sent you guys? Yeah, it's out there, cool. So just sorry, Rob, you want to get that for you as well. So with
Can I just get up on the laptop?
Yeah. Yeah, Robert, that's okay. Sorry, Rob. So pretty much here what I was going through. So what we've got in our, like in your booklet there, I didn't want to go into like crazy amounts of details, but I wanted you guys to like get a really good understanding of different things. So one of the things here is our like macros. Okay. Now, who knows what a macronutrient is?
Is that your proteins,
Yep.
carbohydrates?
Yep.
That's
Yep, perfect. Yep. Okay, so can name me a carbohydrate.
Something like potatoes.
Yep, perfect. Name me a protein.
chicken.
Fat.
Almonds, avocado.
Very good, perfect. Okay, where does broccoli fit? What's broccoli?
Carbohydrate.
Yeah, very good. It's an apple. Apple?
Carbohydrate.
Yeah, very good. Okay, perfect. So very good. Well done. So people always
Stick
get a
asses.
little bit confused between
Look, I take one
macros.
like here, just come up.
We do have, so there's fats, protein, and carbohydrates. We want to make sure in our diet we get in all three of these. And then we talk about micronutrients as well. Micronutrients are in everything. So like, for example, a fat, protein, and carb also have all micronutrients, and they've all got different ones. So to get a well-balanced diet is the most important thing that we can do. And where people always go wrong a little bit is people don't understand what a macronutrient is. So a lot of times people like overeat. They'll try and be like, oh, I'm being like really good. And they'll be like, oh, I'm having like chicken, and then I'm having like rice and potato and chickpeas and lentils, and there's like
Sweet potatoes.
and there's like this big bowl of like everything. And I'm like, you've just had like 17 carbs. Or someone will say to me in the morning, I have a smoothie, and they're having like yogurt, oats, bananas, berries, milk, avocado, so everything. I'm like, there's no protein in that
Yeah.
meal. You just made a smoothie full of carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So you're not going to feel full. You're not going to feel satisfied. Probably not going to have. You might have a bit of energy initially, but it will drop a little bit. You certainly, because does that make sense? So it's just like understanding that like, by knowing what all three macronutrients are, how much better you're going to feel. And I guess like basically what they kind of do. So with protein is going to keep you the most fullest, and it burns the most calories to break down. There's a billion other, like we're like crazy protein people here. There's a billion other like reasons for it. Like it literally replenishes our whole body, skin, eyes, hair. Like it does everything. It
It's the muscle
helps build
builder.
muscles. Like does everything. Okay. But the one thing you think that it will keep you full. It will burn calories while you're physically eating it, and it's going to help you. Like without enough protein, you cannot build muscle. Okay, because your body needs protein. It'll start to break down its own protein tissue from the muscles. Okay, in your body. So if you're overtraining, undereating protein, you're literally bashing your head against the wall because you cannot build muscle, and your body's just breaking down that muscle.
And yet you still feel you're doing the right thing. You're like, oh no,
Yeah.
I'm eating less, I'm training harder. Why aren't I getting the results? Because you're not replenishing your body with the right things. It's just, as we said, it's like once you understand the information a little bit, you'll go, oh, that makes sense, and everything. Because a lot of people do that. As well, like they'll just like undereat because that's what they feel that they need to do to lose the weight. But then, as Mia said, your body's very clever. So then you'll start to find protein from other sources, which is i.e. your muscles and stuff.
Yes, and it's with all macronutrients. Like then you've got your carbohydrates. People like steer away from carbohydrates. Like carbs are what fuel our body. It's the biggest body like fuel source. So like it's what gives you energy. It's what makes you train hard. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with carbohydrates. And one of the questions I always ask people: who thinks pasta is worse than rice? You don't think it's worse? Think it's about the same? Potato, sweet potato.
Sweet potatoes better.
Why? Just because you hear it? There's less calories in potato, and there's more potassium, there's more magnesium, there's more micronutrients. Why? Why do we think it's better? Just because of what's marketed to us. Like it's just like things you're hearing all the time. But there's like, so there's actually more protein in like a very small amount. There's more protein in pasta than there is in rice. There's actually slightly more calories in rice than is pasta. Like, and they pretty much have the same, like the exact same carb content. There's physically no difference. Yet people are like, oh, I have a big bowl of rice, but I won't have a big bowl of pasta. But and it's all like, but they're the exact same, like same calories, same carb content, actually more protein in pasta. And also you get even better pasta, you get pulse pasta and other like lentil pastas that are often like 45 grams of protein per serve, yet people would still eat rice.
I guess the thing with becoming more educated with food and learning these things is it allows you to make more informed choices and gives you a better shot of enjoying the food that you're eating. And that's the whole goal. Like the whole goal with nutrition is to be sitting there eating a bland thing of chicken and broccoli and going, oh, well, I'm getting healthy. You want to enjoy the food you're eating. And so the more educated you guys can get about it, the more you understand what you're putting into your body and why, the better chance you're going to have of being able to do that and enjoy it and make it a more sort of sustainable lifestyle change rather than just have to hate life for 8 weeks for the sake of getting skinny, you know. It's not about that. It's really about sort of changing things and enjoying the changes that you've made so they're sustainable for the long term, not just for a quick, short little.
And food, so we said food really needs to be enjoyable. So like it's like everyone, well, I love pasta.
Yeah.
So like you can eat pasta every day, and why wouldn't you? Like, if you like it. So yeah, it doesn't need to be like bland and boring. It could be all food is good, all nutrients are good. So carbs, don't avoid them. And the last one is like fats. Fats insulate our body. It's what like protects our body. It helps our body to absorb so many good nutrients. So without proper good fats, our body actually can't absorb a lot of the micronutrients that are all in the other foods. So we need that brain like clarity and function from high fat foods. And when I talk about high fats, obviously there's like lots of different variations of fat. You've got KFC, high trans fat food, and you've got like avocados and salmons, right? So both are delicious, okay, but one is better for us than the other. Trans fat really is probably like one of the worst things. They're way worse than sugar. It doesn't actually add any nutritional value to the body. It's actually quite detrimental to the body. Lots of links between trans fat, so saturated fats and unsaturated fats fine. So that's like your meats and your oils and your nuts and seeds. But trans fats, which is that like just the deep fried foods, the deep fried donuts, all the good stuff that I love. All those foods are like not great for like they just like really like heart disease, like bowel cancer, like lots of different diseases are like 100% linked to trans fat foods, so they're not great. But other fats are so good for us, and they make us feel full. Like things like if you had a big bowl of like eggs and avocado and stuff, like you're like you feel dense. It's full, like it's very like filling. So like I would like you want to try and get all those in there, and just with all three of those, like I said, all of them have micronutrients. So your iron, your B12, your zinc, like your folate, like all those things are needed, and they also add to like everything you put. Like B12 is one of the most important things we need for brain function, and it's only found in animal products. So if you don't eat any meat or any protein, like you have to take a B12 supplement. You actually can't get it. Like with protein, you can get from plant sources. B12 you cannot. It's not in any plant sources at all. So people are like, oh, vegan's the way to go. Well, how can it be if the one thing we need is B12? Like if you get about B12 deficiency, it can lead to like your body eating away its own brain tissue just to get B12. Like it's nearly like
the number one thing.
Like the number one thing that we need for like the ability to function and things. So understand that like a vast variety of food is what you need to be healthy and fit and strong and feel good. So that's why we want you guys to never remove our whole food group ever, because just have variety. That also includes chocolate and other food as well. Like we still want you guys to like live your life, but generally if you're eating all three macro and micronutrients, you're gonna feel really good and not crave shit.
And that's what on the diversity and like making sure you get a big mixture of things. Like even like you look at the macronutrients, which is the I guess the top, the fat, protein, and carb. If you just have brown rice, chicken, and broccoli, for example, I know you might have some oil, you cook it in, so you've got that form of macronutrients. They like chickens, they've barely got no micronutrients. So you could eat it, a lot of it, for I don't know, weeks, and you could be like, you could get shredded, right? You could like, or the saying show, you could lose a lot of weight. You could be like, oh, look at all my muscle, I'm doing this. Your body, and you will feel like absolute shit because they've got no micronutrients. Like chicken, all your chicken and that sort of stuff, no micronutrients. Your body will be craving so many things. So it's one thing to obviously hit your macronutrients, but then those micronutrients, which your body is just going to thrive off. So that's why, as Mia said, just a whole variety of different things. Don't just sort of try and stick to one thing. Have heaps of different foods, lots of different veggies, and just things that are really going to sort of set you on fire. And guys, the things that will get you excited to eat lots of good food.
The next one is based on that. It's just pretty much like what you want your plate to look like. Ours probably looks a little bit different to what you might have seen before. We want you to like literally fill half your plate full of protein. So I want you to start every meal that you make with protein. So you think whatever you're having for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, where's my protein source first? Okay, so for example, if you were going to have your morning out for breakfast, okay, I've got eggs are my protein source, I've got a scoop of protein, that's my protein source, I've got Greek yogurt, like whatever you have, you're starting with that. So just say, for example, you love spaghetti bolognese, absolutely eat that, but fill your bowl first, fill with like the mince and the veg, then add the pasta, first the bowl of pasta, and then add the mince, and it will really change things up. So start with protein, then as many vegetables as you want. And when we talk about veg, we're talking about all your like every veg apart from probably sweet potato, like a high carb food, because they are still a carbohydrate. So pack your plate full of veg, and then you can have your carbs and your fats. Okay, so then so you just always just change the way that you think about things when you're starting it. Does that make sense? So every meal that you have, I want protein sources in there, okay, as your main thing. And also what we've got down here on this same manual, I'm gonna put it somewhere. Just like I guess what those serving sizes are and how they look, and what that means is like when people go, they probably undereat a little bit, like I'll just have like 100 grams of chicken. Like minimum 200 grams per serve. Like try and get up
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, protein's probably the one thing that people tend to under eat on. And when people do start actually hitting their protein requirements for their body, and it'll be different for men, women, and body weight and such, everyone's protein requirement will be different. But when they start finally hitting them, they feel they're just a lot more satiated, they stay fuller. And you find that you've got a lot less room to like binge and like even be tempted by like some of those like shittier processed things later on in time. So that's why we're emphasizing hitting the protein so thoroughly, because you will find, along with all the health benefits and the benefits for your recovery, you'll find that you're just less, me personally as well, I find I'm less inclined to binge and stuff when I'm hitting them. I'm just fuller. It keeps you a lot fuller than any other sort of macronutrient
massively.
there
And
is.
especially if you like made a bowl of something you really love to eat, you have this big bowl of like pasta and whatever meat and whatever veggies in there, and you'll eat it like half. And if you're getting like all your veggies in there, you're like finishing that, be like, I actually can't finish the bowl. Like I can't. Firstly, if you normally have a big bowl of like carbonara and there's some bacon and some cream and some cheese, you can eat that whole bowl. So like you find that you're like, I'm actually really full, and you start to notice you're like, I actually don't want any more of this. And that's like a really where you're actually eating enough food that you need. And if you change the way that your diet is, normally a lot of people find that they're doing the opposite. They're trying to like not eat, they're thinking about food constantly because they're hungry. And if you just change the way that you eat and get in all your macronutrients, get in your protein, eat your veggies, still have your carb sources, you will not be hungry. Okay, like you just got to change that around with that. Okay, does that make sense? Any questions about that? So on the list as well, on the thing you've got, like I've written in there, you've got your fats, protein, and carbohydrates. So you can have a look if you are confused. Some of those ones in there, I've got like a list of what they are, just so if you're like, oh, I don't know which one's which, have a look in there. But think like meat and animal products plus like tofu, lentils and stuff is your protein, all your like your fats, like your oils, your butters, like some of your, even like your things, a lot of things will cover over too, like salmon, protein and fats. Yep, you're going to have a few things that are going to be both. Okay, and then obviously your carbohydrates are all the like amazing. I feel like everyone knows what carbs are. Carbs are like an easy one to know, but just remember your fruit and your veg do fit into that. So things like potatoes, and things like bananas, apples, mangoes, high sugar. Fruits definitely always put more as a carbohydrate versus like your lower ones, like your berries and stuff, are very, very low in quite low carbs. But like your really high dense fruit ones, just be mindful they are still higher in sugars, therefore higher in carbs, therefore higher in calories. Yeah. So we just have like 4 basic habits we want you guys to like stick with this, like different things, but like things to think about with your food.
Sneak out.
There you go.
Just so you can think about, which you already covered, but just think protein in each meal. Yeah, you do that. Okay, there in each meal. So you do that. That's pretty basic. Make some change for doing that. Okay. Then limited processed carbohydrates. So that's like the sugars, like shitty, crappy sugars. Even things like a lot of like white sheet bread, like Tip Top. Tip Top is not good. Okay, like if you went to bake and actually physically baking the bread, very different. But a high processed, high sugar loaf of bread is not great. Yeah, so just limit, and obviously your lollies, chocolate, those kind of like really high sugary processed things we already know. We're not saying to avoid them.
Yeah.
We're just saying limit them. I'm not saying for these 4 weeks don't eat. I'm not saying forever don't eat it, because for the rest of your life, you're going to tell me you're never going to eat chocolate, then great. But if that's not the option, then let's have that. But have that one treat in your meals. Like, I feel like chocolate, have I had lunch? No. Let's have my protein, have my veg, have my carbs, have my fats, feel good. I still want chocolate. Actually, no. Yeah, I do. Okay, cool. I'll have a little bit. That's okay. Like limit. It's different to having like an entire block because you haven't eaten all day. Yeah. So there, and the last one is just eat good fats. So really basic, 4 basic things we talked about. That's pretty simple to stick to. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and pretty much just with your meal prep, try and keep it super simple, and then organization. As I said, we're not really going to go into like how much of each one you should be having. It's just the basic portion of it. So easiest way to get things ready, go to a big shop, figure out what you want to do. It can take you 5-10 minutes, sit down. I know it's hard with the families and stuff, but try and, even if you want to have a chat to your other partner, whatever, kids, like, what do you reckon we feel like this week? And try and get them involved as well. Because the last thing you want to do is like, I'm eating, chicken broccoli. I'm eating my chicken and broccoli, and then they're having that is not going to work. Let's try and work it out.
It's not good for them.
No. And then, but the more, if you get like your partner involved as well, it's so much easier, because then you guys are doing it together. You guys can sort of push each other along in the good way, as opposed to, we had one of the other girls, when she did one of the challenges once, and she came home and she had a chicken salad or something really nice that she made. She got home, her family was having like fish and chips or something. She's like, like all of them, there was like 5 of them, and she's like, oh, this sucks. And it's just a lot harder. So the more you can get your family involved and friends, it's going to make that so much easier at home. With the organization, so if you guys sit down, be like, all right, what do we want this week? All right, we might have salmon and something on Monday. Is everyone happy with that? We might have some steak and whatnot. I'm just spitballing here. And then once you get that, then you can go do your big shop. You come back, whether you pre-organize your veggies and stuff, and just make the cook really easy. And then that you're way more inclined to eat that.
And just with that, we don't expect you guys to like make bulk meals for an entire week.
No,
because no one
no.
wants to do that and also tastes like shit after a while.
Yeah.
But as I said, like it might be like, hey, I'm gonna do a big pot of rice and cook it up, a big thing of pasta, cook it up. I might have frozen veggies in the freezer, have that ready. I might have, do you know what I mean? Like have basic little things. We've got a whole list on the fridge out there that you would have seen the meal prep must do's. Some really basic. You might buy a whole lot of chicken and you might like dust cooks up his chicken on the barbecue for a couple of days. So you might do that, and then you got this you know what I mean? Just some basic stuff, because when we're organized, with less room for error. If you've got food in the house ready to go and food that you enjoy, it has to be food that you enjoy. I do not want you sitting there eating plain baked chicken and broccoli that's got no flavor. That is not exciting. I want you guys, if you guys love wraps, maybe like I love a wrap, okay, cool. Go and make some like chicken, fill it with like all your veggies, but have avocado, have cheese, have stuff in there. And have this really nice, delicious chicken wrap, but the wrap should be filled with chicken, like an entire chicken breast, at least 200 grams of chicken. So you're having this yum wrap, put a sauce in there. It's like, yes, okay, you might look at the bottle of sauce, and it might be like, say, whatever calories it, but it's like, you're having like 10 grams. It's okay to have that little bit of sweet chili sauce or a Kewpie mayo or a little bit. It's like, it's not going, everything else in that meal is great. It doesn't matter that you're having, do you know what I mean? Don't make things bland and boring, because then you like dry reaching trying to eat something and you're not going to stick to it. It's not, these we want to be lifestyle, that for the rest of your life, you make better choices and you eat better food.
And whether that's organising, maybe at the end of this reboot, you guys might only organise your lunch. Like that can be your thing. If that's all you get out, like that at the start, that's fantastic. Then every day, from Monday to Friday, you guys know that you have a really good lunch organised. You know what's in the house, you know what's in the fridge, whether you're working from home or something you can take to work. Because as soon as if we don't have stuff organised, that's when we buy shit. That's when we go like, there's nothing here. You might be out on the road. It's like, oh, we've got to stop you to Macca's or a Porter, or whatever's there. It's like, I need a survey, I'm starving, I've got another meeting, I need to eat something. And then that's when you're going to make bad choices. So just little things organized. If you know you're going to be on the road, if you're driving for work, it's like something that I can keep in a snack lock bag, or like some chicken. You might have a chicken and wrap that day because it's a lot easier. You won't have to heat the stuff up. So just putting in like 5-10 minutes of organization throughout the week makes it so much easier. I know I've got it very easy. I just live around the corner, so I get to go home every day for lunch, which that is a lot easier. But even just getting things, making sure I have enough food at home so I can cook it, makes it so much easier. And especially what we said, like I'll cook up a heap of chicken. I usually hate doing it, but it only takes like 40 minutes. And that saves me like 5 hours for the week. I'll just get it all, baste them, do whatever. I cook it all up, have that, all different types. I have a big pot of rice, and then just my basic veggies and stuff, because they take me 2 seconds to cook anyway. And I'm just done for the week. I don't have to think. I'm just there, bang, reheat it, good.
And also, so you said before, I was gonna say, how many of you watch like TV at night? Yeah. Okay. So you fucking have time. Because someone like, I don't watch TV at all. This is a real brand for me, but I'm always like, who watches Mass or whatever the hell people watch TV? I don't watch TV, but I watch on the weekend. But if you're watching even an hour or 2 hours a night, that's 14 hours of your week. That makes it 14 hours of sitting there. Take away half an hour and say, like, tonight, okay, yep, what am I going to do tomorrow? I've got this for lunch this year. Is it ready? Is it there? Yep, it is. Cool, I'm ready to go. I'm organised, and we're going to end this in just a second now. This will be where we've got our Facebook page, and we've got us, and we're very accountable with stuff that one of you all wanted to go take your actions, maybe that you're going to take a photo of that food put up for, and you send it to us. So this whole thing is about being accountable and sticking to the things that we say we're going to do. But you have time. Time is bullshit if you have time to watch TV. So this is what I'm saying. Utilize that time that's making you unhealthy and sitting, and use it for something to make you more productive. We've got to get our steps up, but you're watching TV. Go for a walk. Okay, like there is time, and it's up to you. If you guys come here say because you want to make changes, this makes the changes. Like you have to sometimes. I'm not saying I don't want you guys to rest and relax at the end of the day. I get that is absolutely fine. But think about how many hours you are doing that. You could probably spare 30 minutes and make better choices with that 30 minutes instead of an episode or something that just doesn't do anything for us. Okay, so let's make some good changes about that. Last thing before we actually get into what we want you guys to do is just the 90-10 rule. This one here is 1, love your food. We want you to eat food that you really love, and we also want you to enjoy balance. So just say that means that 90% of the time, if you are really great and like, I don't want to say adherence because we're not sticking to a plan, because if you're always on a plan, then you can fall off the plan. I want you guys on a plan. I just want you guys like eating good, healthy foods. But if you then one day during the day you had chocolate and you're like, oh, I ate like a chocolate bar, and be like, oh, I fucked the whole day. Oh well, I'll just start again tomorrow. I'll eat whatever I want for the rest of the day.
It happens.
It happens
all
to me.
the time.
Happens to everyone. Like that chocolate bar was 150 calories. It's nothing. It makes no difference. You scream it away and you just keep eating normally. And also the guilt. What happens is if we feel guilty for eating the chocolate, then we end up like over binge eating and then we restrict again. Then we guilt, binge, restrict. So we get this like little terrible cycle that we don't feel bad about it. Who cares? It was delicious. You enjoyed it. If you got the chocolate, enjoy it. Love it. Enjoy that you're eating it. Be like, cool, I really like that. Don't feel bad about it. Cool. Now I've got my lunch and dinner. But if you're having food that you also love throughout the day, you're not like, it's not kind of like, oh, I'm eating chicken broccoli. I can't wait for chocolate. You're like, oh my God, I love that melted cheese wrap. That was delicious. Do you know what I mean? Like we can eat foods that we really love, and then we can add in like chocolate and other food as well on top of that. So if you really love KFC, I don't mind you guys eating KFC. Just don't eat every day. Yeah, like okay. Like,
And even that, like I like to catch up with my mates on the weekend, especially if like we're here and like everyone's work-life balance is pretty crazy. But then if I try and keep myself eating relatively good foods, I mean, I love all the foods I eat. Like once you guys sort of figure out the foods and stuff, you'll find that like you love everything. Like there's no meal that I don't like and not look forward to. I absolutely like. I have like a lot of steaks every day. Like I love it, absolutely love it. But then because I do that and then I'm booking, it's like we always like to go get a big feed or catch up with the boys and like do all that. Then I've got that plan, so I'm like. Then I can go out and I'm absolutely guilt-free because I know I've come in, I've done the work throughout the week, I've done my steps, I've had everything else organized, I've been hydrated, I've been sleeping really well. I can go out, I can go have a few beers with my mates or like, and that's guilt-free. Absolutely, because I've like literally had that booked in and I've done the work before. So you can book in this stuff as well, your 90-10 rule as well. And then that way you don't feel guilty as opposed to, oh, I've got to go for dinner. Oh, I can't order that. I can't order that because it does happen. You see people like, oh no, I'm on a diet. This isn't a diet. This is just trying to get things ready. And then exactly what me said, if you eat something bad, don't feel guilty about it. Just be conscious of it before you do it. And then if you are going to eat something like a chocolate, don't have 4 chocolates before dinner. Have your dinner, give yourself a sec, and I might only have one little fun bite one. Because that's all you need. So always good first, and then if you still want some stuff after, go for it.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So what I want to get into now, guys, is actually like creating our 4 habits. So I want you guys really, did you print this stuff out?
Yeah, we've got it.
Hey, Justin.
I don't want to be so annoying. And I'm just going to give you a plain piece of paper. You just do that. Here it is. So with this, so what we want you guys to do, right here, so turn it to goal. So we're going to the goal setting. Yep. So here, this is what it would just like looks like. Yep. So what we do, everyone will generally have that like a in-body scan, and then the other one. So I want you guys to think about with this one, everybody increase my energy, but like here, we want a starting point. I want you guys to think about you so on this one. Yeah. So with your starting point, I want you guys to think about right now. Like, I mean, like generally right now, I don't mean like before COVID, I mean right now, this particular point in time, write down like how you're like, how you feel. Sometimes you don't realize, like, say, like, I feel a bit like I feel tired, I feel a bit like unmotivated, or whatever it is. It could be like those, I'm feeling really good. However, you are feeling right now, I want you to write that out. So that's your starting point. Think like, you know, like you just might feel lethargic, tired, unhappy, whatever it is that you're feeling. Right now, I want you to like write that down, and we want to see if that changes in the next 4 weeks. So do that now. You can talk to me about it, or you don't have to talk to me about it. These are like yours, but I just want to have this starting point. So you've got your scan, and we've got this, and these are your 2 different ones. One's a physical.
Do you guys want a
starting
clipboard
point.
to write on? And easy to write on.
And especially as we go through with this reboot, use us as much as you can. Like if you're feeling unmotivated or you're feeling like I'm struggling with food, rather than doing it in silence, message us when, and that's why we got the page for. It's like, I'm struggling with food. Cool. What are we struggling with? Like as much as you guys need. Like that's why we're here. I feel a lot of people feel like, oh, I don't want to annoy them, or like I'm not feeling it today. Like that's when you let us know so we can work out. It's like if you come in and I don't know, you've had like a shit day or whatever, I'm just going, oh, let's go. And you're like, maybe not say, like, communicate as much as you guys can. Because then it helps us, helps
like,
you.
We thrive on helping you guys. Like that's what we want. We want to see changes. So like that's what we're like even ask Coop, like Coop, so he's like, why don't anyone ask me questions? Like, what do you need help with? And no one will ask you. Like, we're here to help. Like, we want to help you guys make changes because we understand the difference in, like, even if someone has trained before, or like, you know, I know some of you have done things like, you know, I know Robin like trains, like she's not like, you're not an unmotivated person to train and do stuff, but sometimes it could be like, they're still learning new stuff. Like, everyone can still learn new things. They could train harder, eat better, like sleep better, drink, like everything can always be improved. Or us, massively.
Yeah.
We've got so many
All the
things going on.
time.
Food always, and things always change. Like there's so much like information out there that's constantly changing. And so like every time we learn something new, like my things have changed with the way that I say things to people now because I've learned more stuff and things have changed over time. So it's going to keep changing. Never say to yourself, I know everything, because you don't. No one does. We're going to constantly keep learning. The more we learn, the more we understand, the more we can make better choices. Okay, from there. Now the only other one from here, we're going to turn it over into the 4 habits. Sorry. Yep. So here, the 4 habits. So if you can just write food, so write like food, and then it's gap, water, sleep, trade. Okay. So obviously you guys have set your own goals so that you've written, which is awesome. And we'll like, I want to keep this, we'll keep this page. So this page is for us, okay, that you're writing on now. And then the taking action sheet, which is at the end, which is what you guys will take home. So with this is what we're talking about. This is what the whole reboot is about. It's all the things we've just talked about that we're learning, but it's about setting 4 basic habits around these 4 things. Okay. So I want you to think about this. It's not like I want to eat better. Well, fuck, so does everyone. But like what, okay, I'm going to make sure I protein in every meal. Might be vegetables in every meal. It might be prepping my food the night before.
Prepping my lunch for the week.
Whatever. I want you to make it as specific as you can for food. So we're going to do this now together. Same with water. Okay. It might be like, and I don't want you to say like, as much as we want 2 liters, right, of water. If you're having 500 ml, maybe 2 liters is too much. Maybe start for this week. I want to drink 1.5 liters. This is all about being realistic. Okay, this is not about just writing the shit you think you want to hear. If you're sleeping 4 hours, aim for 6. Yeah. So it's about, let's think about habit right now for each one of them. Okay, I'm work around with you and help you with this. And then with the exercise one, that might be, I want to come to 3 sessions here at Boss. Okay, I don't want you to say 7 because you're not going to come to 7. Okay, do what is realistic to you and your lifestyle right now.
Yeah, few at this stage, and then things that you can go
and
forward.
Obviously, we over there these might change halfway through. Maybe I'm like, cool, you're like meeting these easily, then we'll up them.
Yeah.
All right. So if anyone needs any help, we're here. Like if you need to think with what we're doing. If you don't know, but like think about something that you think is realistic to you, that can be a habit, and then you're going to like fixate on these 4 things. You might be better than these 4 things, but at a minimum, every single day, you have to tick this off. And be like, yep, I achieved this. This is my, and it's what is realistic to you.
These are your non-negotiables.
These are like, they're non-negotiable. They're like, whatever you write down here, it's not like I might do it. It might even be, I'm going to get 10,000 steps a day. Okay, it could be like whatever. So the training could be both. It could be like coming to Boss 3 times, and it might be 10,000 steps. You can put like 2 things in there. It might be veg and protein. It could it doesn't be one thing, but whatever you write, you must achieve. And this is what we're going to be hounding you on. Like this is like absolutely, I can't drill this enough. It's like a non-negotiable. You've got to do it. Okay. How we got? Anyone need any help? When there's like more people, and we're like, okay, help you, help you.
You should have got like heaps of people
like,
running around, so it makes it easy.
But this makes sense. No one's overriding anything crazy.
And the biggest thing with these, as you go through, sometimes for a lot of people it seems quite overwhelming. Like when you look at it, like all these things. But when you think about these are your 4 things. You just have to do this every day. Like just every day, you've got 4 little things. Don't think about this as like, I've got to do all this thing in a month. Just think you've got, by the time you wake up, say you've got 16 hours in the day, 17, 18, whatever it is, you've got 4 things you've got to focus on. Your water you can have with you throughout the day. Let's focus on moving. Do we have a session booked in tonight? If not, it could be a rest day. Say you only coming in 3 days a week. And then your food. What food do I prep? That's all you got to focus on. Just 4 little things a day. Tick them off, bang. And then even if say you don't get one for the day, let's make sure we get it the next day.
We're gonna be 2 meetings. We'll probably be a little bit more. We'll be like, but we're here like, and that's it's just each day like how do I prove? You'll get as well a 4-week, which I sent as well today, a 4-week like what do you call it? Like a tick like checklist. So you got like each week, like how did my whole week go? And do it. So the more you're like, if we can't make these are all well and good, which we're going to do now in a second, is taking action on this because it's all well and good to write these down, but if we then can't achieve it, then they're just words on a piece of paper. Okay, so we want to try and do that.
Yep.
That's perfect. Okay, beautiful.
Dinner's good, but
That's
breakfast
beautiful.
is
So you know
what
that
we
is
do.
perfect for you. Yeah, beautiful. So 3, because we're going to 3 in. Okay, do you close to this now?
Yes, depends on the kids.
Okay,
too,
so
but
we
I
can
understand.
make it
So,
different,
yeah,
Yep,
I
at the
think
moment,
last
I'm
week I
getting
think I
it.
had
Yeah,
4
kids,
nights over
did you
8
say?
hours.
Yeah, I've got kids,
Yeah.
but
But 3
they're
nights were
9 and
1
5.
class 4
Okay,
hours.
oh, that's good.
It's only with the 5-year-old though,
Yeah.
she just like that,
I
but
know.
last
How
night
old
I was
are
in
you?
bed at
6 and 8. So
So
most of the
three
time
and
they're
one
pretty
year old.
good.
and I got up at 7:30.
My
Nice.
first was a
They're
late
good.
sleeper.
Yeah, good.
It's only recently.
Do you usually go to bed late?
He
Yeah,
sucked
been
his,
there,
he
yeah.
sucked his
No,
thumb
normally we
up
go to
until
bed
about a
normally
year
around
ago.
10,
Oh,
like
I'm
10:30,
gonna
I
go
start
And now he's
thinking,
got.
Yeah.
sucked
That's usually, I try and have that as my shut off on my by
Yeah,
10:30,
start-
like
we're
I'm
gonna
still
start
up, I'll
going
try and
Yeah,
like
we
just shut
should
everything
have
off.
got-
And
We got a
Yeah.
because I was like, I can't do
I'm
it.
not looking at
It's just
devices,
bedtime.
we're looking at
Yeah, well,
TV.
he's
Yeah.
taken
Like
one
my
of those
husband
with
and
my
I will
daughter's
sit up, but
copy.
he's
Her brother
he'd already
had
fallen
13
asleep, so I'm just sitting there
But
like,
then
nah,
he's
I'm
got-
going to
he's
bed.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
watching another
Yeah.
Netflix.
you do, you just, but you end up just, and then I'll sit on my phone, I'll just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, and I'm like, go back to this chat to my phone, I'm like, what am I doing? And then I'd like, by the time I put it down, I'm like, I might be knackered, but you can just sit there for hours and hours and hours. So even just like, yeah, just having those structures
Yeah, so I
within
was
that, it's like, all right, I'm gonna do that.
Oh, I printed like one page and then it was jamming because the kids don't open the door to get.
Even just that extra sleep, you wake up the next day and you're just like, so much better.
That's yours. There we go. Yep.
There you go.
Have a look. Yep, perfect. Yep. So with this, each night we're just gonna look and check if you've got one of each fat in there.
Yeah.
Fine, yep. Yep, love that, great. Yep, perfect, okay. So right, maybe this one here, go, I want you to pick a set like
Hours,
an
yeah,
hours,
a night.
a
Oh,
set, so,
okay.
you know, and now, I mean, what do you reckon you get at the moment?
Uh,
What time you go to bed?
I know it could be any time really.
What time you wake up?
It's more or less, sometimes. like,
Oh, so you won't actually get enough. Well, then I think you can easily get 8 hours, so let's put that.
Yeah,
You can
the
do
thing
that.
is I don't think my quality of sleep's that good because I'm like up and down.
No, and probably when you get like
Yeah.
food, exercise, and everything else as well, the
Yeah.
sleep will get better. Cool, so I'm gonna take this. So now what you guys are gonna do based on we saw with these. So get rid of another piece of paper for me, please. We're gonna-
Like, because I could get up at 7 and then just wallow about.
It's your taking action shit.
Yeah, to do.
That's why I thought like coming to the gym so good.
Yeah, absolutely. So now what we're gonna do, guys, here
Yeah.
is you've got, you're gonna do the taking action. You can print it bloody off here, would be very helpful. So now it's like, this is the one that you're gonna keep, right? So if you've got here, exercise, food, water, and things. So for example, if you guys like look at this one, so I'll just read this out. So I've done like exercise. So the goal is I will attend 3 group sessions a week, right? So then taking action is I will book these sessions in on Sunday night. Yeah, does that make sense? So it's like, how are we going to make it happen? So my goal is I'm going to drink 3 liters of water a day.
How are we doing?
How are we doing that? So I'm going to set an alarm at 9, 2, 5, and 8, and make sure I have 500 mils in each one of those. Yep. So I need you guys to think about all the things you've written down, and then how are we going to make that happen? Because that's what we're going to follow you up on, and we're going to put this on your fridge when you get home.
Remember, these are all things that are just, you're gonna like, if the alarms aren't gonna work for you, don't do it.
Yes.
If maybe, say you wanna drink 2 liters a day, if what works for you is to buy a 2-liter water bottle, then let's go
Or
ahead
if
and
you
do
like
that.
small ones, it might be that you want to have like 2 1-liter bottles, or you might want to have like the do you know, like it could be like sometimes what I like with my, it's really weird, but I have these 500 ml cups at home, and I would just like do that. So I'd like pour 4 and just have them on my
So
table,
I usually get,
and then I'd drink
usually
one,
have
and
a
then
big,
I'd get there's 3 left, and then there's 2 left.
I usually have a big 2-liter or more, because I find if it's small, like, see that's gone now, I'm way more inclined, see, I would have drank more then if I had a bigger water bottle, it was still full, but now I'm missing out on water because I can't be bothered going to the tap to fill it up. So I find it's a lot easier. Have a big water bottle, it's always there with you. That way, because as soon as then I'm like, fuck, I gotta fill it up again. So maybe that's something that can work for you. Buy a bigger water bottle, whatever it is. If you're unsure, we'll just keep shooting you guys ideas, and then you might, all right, that's actually a good one, and then we'll put that down.
So
So if
like,
you're unsure exactly how to take action with it,
yeah, so these are what you guys to physically write these down when I come up with different ideas to do these, and then this is what you're going to put on your fridge. So you're going to have the same thing, like the same thing, so exercise, water, the same, like write them up, and then we're going to put them underneath there. And I want you guys to think about, like, especially I know Kev, you did the 10,000 steps, so that's one where you probably would, with the 10,000 step one, you need to probably bring it up throughout your day to be like, okay, I'm going to
Yeah,
make sure
that's-
that I'm going to do
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
it
if-
might be first thing in the morning, 10 o'clock, and then 2
yeah,
o'clock
that's
in
what
the
I was
afternoon.
thinking. Could you do, well, I was like thinking of say like half an hour before I eat or whatever.
Yep.
It's better before I eat.
no,
To do the walk, obviously, or
It doesn't matter.
so-
Don't really watch it,
some people say they'd love to do a 10-minute walk after your food to help break it down. It's just,
Whatever feels better for
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
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 But either way, but I want you to like
Yeah.
plan it enough so then it becomes a thing. So if you're
Yeah,
like, cool, I know in the morning I'm gonna do a half an hour walk before I have breakfast.
Yeah.
Then you get up and do that. So I want you to
Yeah.
think about what your
Yeah,
plan is
so
throughout that
it's-
day.
Especially if your
get
work's
those 10
busy.
steps.
Some people are like, oh, I need to get my walking today. Work's
What
flat
do
out,
do
you
when
can't get
plan
out.
to do
But
that?
if you've got always got time in the morning,
yeah,
always got time in the morning, let's get up early. That way you can knock out non-negotiable. You've got
Okay, cool.
7,000
So,
steps
I
in the book.
suppose
That's done.
for
And then you can
like,
focus on,
even
then
like
if you
your
need
food,
it at the end of the
you
night
know,
or
like,
whatever
putting
later,
those,
then
so
at least
like,
you can
a
run
set
at the
that
end.
you like
But
a
at
set
least at
time
the start,
each
whatever
day
you
to
have the
make sure
easiest
those
way to
meals
get
work.
it.
So whether it's like first in the morning, like when is it that would work for you, say at night time,
Hello.
having a set time, so like 7 o'clock
Yeah,
at
that's
night,
okay.
like before, I'm going to
How are you?
sit down, plan out all my
Nice to
meals
meet you.
and ensuring that I have protein in that. I'm gonna take a photo of that protein and my meals that I've got, I'm gonna post that onto the page for me and Darcy. Yep, so that's the action. It's like, we wanna keep you accountable for things. So it's like, I'm gonna send this to the coaches of my food prep.
Oh, no, I'll
what's
go
in
there.
there
It's
with
actually
protein.
What are you gonna
Yeah.
get? with it?
So something like that, then
43,
what we're,
yeah.
so for this would be
You
exactly like
75.
that, it's thinking about, well, is it, yeah, I'm gonna have, I've got, do you have two, what do you have now, 200?
Oh, really?
I think the one I'm using at the moment
water.
is
Wondering
500
whether
ml,
it's
but I've just
better-
ordered
I've got
one
one
that I
separate
previously
for the
had. It's
bottle
really
of
good.
water.
It's got,
Two of
it's a
those,
liter
yeah.
and every hour you've got, it's got the hours.
Yes.
The day.
And do you find you?
Times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I lost it and now I've just reordered.
Why
You
not?
say it's
it.
a leader?
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah,
liter.
cool, so you just wanna make sure
I'm
like, say
nasal
by
on
1
that.
o'clock,
I'm
like, say, you know
always,
what you can do as well, I
Where
would
is it
really even
water?
say like.
I'm
right,
always
set,
filling
I
up
can't
for
ask
it
you.
right now.
I'll set
Wait,
like in the
you
last
drink it.
1 o'clock, so you make sure if by 1
What is
o'clock,
it?
even if
I
you're a
think
bit behind, you
the
spell that
alarms are
and you
so
read
good
off
that
your
you can
Yeah.
keep,
So
it's
I would
like,
just make
am I
sure
done?
that even
Are you
if
good
you're
at spelling?
reading
that-
500 mils,
Well, I'm picking
or
up
whatever
one
you
because I
do,
don't
you've got
take
like
2
by
hours a
at
day
least
because I'm
by
in the lab, so I'm
midday,
thinking
but or 1 o'clock,
realistically,
whatever it is.
maybe then
you
get
have
up,
done
have
a
a glass
lot.
of water and then.
So like you wanna make sure by
And
like
then
1
wait till
sense,
lunch
like I've got
again,
around 1 o'clock, I
have
got
2
my
glasses
phone.
of water.
Yeah,
And I said,
absolutely.
Again, it might be like
Dinner,
1
I
o'clock,
usually have
every
two
day, I'm
at
gonna
dinner.
post on page,
But
okay,
usually
at
I have
least-
if I
pretty
just
much
start to
nothing
look,
all
does that
day.
make sense?
Rather
It's
than
just
glasses,
things
yeah,
we're
at
putting in
least if
place
you have a
to
bottle
make sure
that's
this
measurable.
happens.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you're doing glass, it's like, had a glass here, had a glass here, you're sort of unsure. So I definitely reckon if you have a water bottle of some sort,
Yep.
then at least you know exactly how much you're getting. But if you find that you can do more before breakfast, like a glass when you, or like whatever.
Yep.
But I definitely think the
I
alarms throughout the day
reckon
for you.
As well as
Yep.
sleep, so
And
if
then
you're wanting
whenever
to
you get a break,
87
we
hours,
definitely
do
need it.
you have a set time you wake up every day?
I'd rather you try and front
School
load the
mornings
water
at
a little
7
bit
a.m.
more.
So you wake
Okay.
up at
Because
7?
towards the
Yeah,
back end of the day,
so
sometimes, especially before you go to
training, then
bed,
I've
if you
got-
need to go to the toilet
I've got
many
my
times,
ability.
like, hey.
Yeah, okay, so
Average is 7.
Yeah,
okay,
I
so
go,
then what with that,
I'm in
what
bed,
you
I'm in
think
and
about,
out like 20
so
times.
7 hours
before I
back
go
up
to
to
sleep.
the
They're on
Yeah.
there.
What are you
Oh,
doing?
that's
Oh my
like-
God.
Like on a weeknight,
Oh,
I
before I
go
go
to
to bed.
bed
So-
like 10:30, 11.
Maybe let's
Whereas
set-
I think I
Okay,
drink
so there you
nothing
go.
all
If you used to
day,
went to
and
bed
then
at
I
11,
wait
you
at
obviously
night
get
before I
your 7
go
hours
to
sleep.
bed.
Yes, let,
And
But
my
if you
body
wake up to
doesn't
training,
progress
you
'cause I've
you
had
wouldn't sort of do it.
Yeah.
I think it's
How
kind
do
of
you
like, you
sleep?
want to like,
I'm-
like, so
I
for me,
sleep
I have like,
pretty heavily
my
early in the
phone
night, pretty
turns
well
off
done
like
after about
all
3.
its apps at like
Wake
1
me
o'clock,
up
they
after
automatically
about
turn
2
off,
or
so I
3 in
can't
the
get access
morning.
without a
I find
passcode,
I have to go
and
back
Adam
to
has a
bed.
passcode.
Alright,
So I
so
literally
are
can't
we,
like,
do you have a
I
water
can't,
bottle at
I
the
feel
moment?
like, can you give me the passcode? That's not
Take action. Alright,
cool.
How big is
So I
it?
have like no access
Yeah.
again to my phone, so it's on my clock, and at 9:30 I have an alarm that goes off, and I know
I
it's
can
like,
let's get a litre water
prepare for
bottle.
bed, like, ready for bed.
So you can
And
even
like,
write
I've
on
got
there,
to wind down
Yeah.
at that point, no matter
Yeah,
what I do.
oh,
Even
there
like
you
I talk to
That's
myself now where
just
it's
buy a
like,
litre water
even if I'm,
bottle,
like,
so
cleaning
at
or
least you
whatever,
get one of
and it's at
those
night, I'm
done.
doing something
Yeah.
like,
Let's
just
try and
like,
have a
don't worry
litre
about it.
done
So things like that, as well. So
by-
I'm very big on alarms, like just because
It's a
I just, I'm too busy doing stuff. I
by
forget about
midday.
stuff. So if something goes off, I'm like, okay, it's
I
bedtime.
can if we can get a
You wanna
litre
get
before
used to those
lunch,
things. So for you,
and
it's
then
always
throughout the
carrying
rest of
back,
the
it
day,
might be
you've
part
got,
of
you
your
just,
prepping,
just
not
got your
really
500.
prepping,
So
like,
when you
like,
wake
oh,
up,
tomorrow morning I
can
need
you
to
drink
have
First thing
5:45
by
for
those
the train,
months.
or let's take back 7 hours from that, that might be, I need to go to bed by 10 o'clock and be asleep by 10.
yeah, no, go,
So
yeah,
then you're
I-
gonna
I-
go
I-
and lay down. So you need to make
Yeah,
sure, like,
yeah,
you know,
I'll
so
go
just
out,
being
it
aware
is
that you're
right
like,
there.
cool,
Yeah.
Go in and
also
buy
you
1
have
litre
trained
water
it.
bottle.
Yeah.
You
So
can
it's
just
like,
go
okay,
out
so it
today,
makes sense.
find
So
find
you, I
one
guess,
you
like,
like.
with sleep, you're saying like, always always like each night
Open.
working out like the earliest time to start to watch it and being ready to do that. Yeah, because the thing is, unless you like try and make these things happen, they won't
Oh, the
happen.
big
So like, you
fella.
have to be aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So with the sleep one, I would be trying to think of like what those hours are to get that.
Hey, George, how are
Hey, Jake.
Hey.
Hey, bud.
Hi, come in. Let's go.
You could be better. Could have won touch lotto.
No, I can't win. I don't play touch lotto.
That's
His mum's
fair.
gonna win it, and then he's in a full plan.
Thanks, George. Hello.
I
Okay, yeah, cool.
sorry.
Yes,